What's going on, everyone? So reports have came out that if Donovan Mitchell does not sign an extension with the Cleveland Cavaliers, that the Cavs are expected to explore trades this offseason. Now, this isn't really crazy news. This is something that is expected. This is something that it's kind of been talked and rumored about for a year now, right? That like Donovan Mitchell, he's not going to sign a new extension, right? I know Dan Gilbert and the Cavs have said like they believe he will and they're going to offer it to him and all that stuff, but everybody outside have all said he's getting out of there. He wants to go to a big market. He wants to go to a team in which he feels he can win. It's kind of the Knicks or the Lakers seem to be the two teams that are heavily linked to Donovan Mitchell. Now, the Knicks, they were trying to trade for Mitchell. They thought on several occasions they had Donovan Mitchell. And then the Cavs swooped in because the Knicks got greedy and were playing games with Danny Ainge, and he ends up going and becoming a Cav. Well, this was also before Jalen Brunson, right? Jalen Brunson, they did not expect to have this huge explosion and basically become Donovan Mitchell 2.0, right? So now they might be looking at this and going like, does it really make sense for us to pair two undersized guards, especially when guys like if Minnesota ends up losing to the Denver Nuggets, which is looking very likely, there may be a guy like Karl Anthony Towns could potentially become available, or some other guy that fits or makes more sense. Maybe you go after like a Lauri Markkanen or something, right? Like there's more options outside of Donovan Mitchell for the Knicks, and they have a treasure trove of assets. Now, I will say, if the Knicks want Donovan Mitchell, the Knicks are going to get Donovan Mitchell. One, they can outbid us, and they have more they have just more assets. But also, Donovan Mitchell has always wanted to play for the Knicks. Like, that's where he wanted to go. That's where he thought he was going to go. So, if he has the opportunity to go to the Knicks, I think he will. Even though I don't really think the Knicks make sense for Donovan Mitchell either. But I digress. I think if the Knicks want him, the Knicks will probably get him. But reports are already starting to flood in, which you'd expect, and I'm sure it's only going to continue as we move into the offseason. But a lot of reports are coming in that the Lakers are supposed to be front of the line ahead of everybody as far as acquiring Donovan Mitchell. Donovan Mitchell is expected to be kind of linked to Lakers and Lakers being a destination for him. LeBron James was at the Cavs game. Now, take that as you may. I know some people think it was nothing. It was just him hanging out. Some people think, he was sending a message to the Lakers. I don't really think so. I think it was kind of partial what it was, him in Cleveland for whatever reason deciding to catch a game. I also think it was partly, hey, let me talk to Donovan Mitchell and see where he's at, right? Because, again, LeBron wants another guy, and Donovan Mitchell makes a world of sense. And I just don't see a scenario where LeBron was going to go to Cleveland in a game in which Donovan Mitchell he knew wasn't going to play, right? Like, there's no way he didn't at least touch base with Donovan. Like, hey, man, where's your head at? What are you thinking? Like, hey, I'm sure you're trying to get through this. You probably haven't made your decision yet. But no, I want you. AD wants you. Just imagine what the three of us could do together, right? You're dropping 50 a night with the Cavs, and you're still losing, right? You worked so hard that it actually got you hurt. Right? Imagine what you could do with us. You wouldn't have to work as hard. Anthony Davis is the best player you've ever played with, right? You'd still have me for a couple years. Once I ride off into the sunset and I retire, you and Anthony Davis would still be one of the best duos in the league. Lakers are going to do whatever it takes to go win championships, kind of build this roster around you and AD going forward. I'll sacrifice. I'll do what I have to do. LeBron had those conversations. There's no way he was in front of Donovan Mitchell and didn't do some level of recruiting. Now, I've seen some people talk about maybe he was talking about going to Cleveland. One, Cleveland can't sign him, and two, what are they going to do? Swap Donovan Mitchell for LeBron? That doesn't make any sense for LeBron, right? And then it just doesn't add up. I think it was LeBron reaching out to Donovan Mitchell. And I've seen people talk, I got a couple comments about tampering, LeBron would be crazy tampering. What do you think players do? Right? Tampering doesn't impact the players. LeBron could get on the microphone in Cleveland and be like, hey, Donovan, do you want to come to the Lakers? There's no rules for the player. And technically, LeBron, he can be a free agent too. So you're talking about two potential free agents being together. Look at Miami. Do you know how many teams have been put together because of tampering? You think Kyrie and KD went to the Brooklyn Nets by happenstance? Like they just both decided like that sounded cool at the same time? No, players talk. Tampering happens all the time with players. Tampering happens a lot with organizations too. You just don't hear about it. I mean, Houston just got, or not Houston, with the Sixers, they ended up getting in trouble for tampering like twice. It happens, okay? Whether you want to believe it or not, it happens, and especially with players. But nonetheless, I digress. Sorry, I need to get that little rant out. But look, Donovan Mitchell, I've talked about it. If I'm the Lakers, you do whatever you can to go get Donovan Mitchell, right? I still believe big threes can work in this league. I just think it depends on the components, right? Like, I know a lot of people, all right, let's get the Westbrook thing out of the way, right? So a lot of people mention Russell Westbrook, which is just silly because you're comparing apples to Ferraris. Like it's not even in the same ecosystem. Like it's something completely different. Russell Westbrook was never going to work to begin with. Russell Westbrook, it was not anywhere close to what Donovan Mitchell is currently. I'm not talking about all time or anything like that. I'm talking about at the time Russell Westbrook became a Laker to the time in which Donovan Mitchell is going to become a Laker. It's not the same thing. The fit is better. Everything about it is better, right? Donovan Mitchell also is coming off of an all-NBA defensive season, right? It's a silly argument where people are like, oh, the Lakers have already tried the big three route. Like, no. Another thing, people talk about the depth. Donovan Mitchell isn't making $50 million a year. Lakers could just basically, they could go Rui, Reeves, and all their firsts and everything like that, right? There's talks about the Lakers maybe giving a balloon payment to D'Angelo Russell so they could go make a trade. That could end up getting you one or two more players. Lakers would be able to go get Donovan Mitchell and still be like 10 guys deep. Right? Like they'd still have several guys already that are probably going to carry over and then are going to sign guys in free agency and then also will be able to make some other trades because Donovan Mitchell's only making like $35 million. So let's say you trade Reeves and Rui, right? Well, you'd still have like Max Christie, Jared Vanderbilt, Gabe Vincent, LeBron James, Anthony Davis, Christian Wood, right? Donovan Mitchell. It's not counting if Taurean Prince sticks around. You go get like a Valanciunas on a taxpayer mid-level. Like, again, like the Lakers will have plenty of depth if they were to go trade for a Donovan Mitchell. And then, lastly, like I see people kind of use the Suns as an example. And look, I've talked about the Suns multiple times. As soon as the Phoenix Suns traded for Bradley Beal, what did I say? They just signed their death note. Like that's it. They're not ever winning anything. Because it didn't make any sense. Again, you got three players that are essentially the same players at different levels, right? And two of the guys are literally the exact same player and play the same position, right? They both play a similar game. It was never going to work. It didn't make any sense to begin with. I don't know. It's new owner syndrome. Matt Ishbia thought it was a great idea, put a bunch of names on jerseys. Doesn't work. Doesn't always work that way. And now you look at the other big threes throughout history, right? Look at Boston, look at Miami, right? Like, look at Cleveland. Like, usually what happens is you have three guys that all do different things and usually play different positions, right? You have Ray Allen, 2 guard, Paul George, 3 guard, KG, 4. They are not 3 guard, but 3 forward, right? The 3 spot, right? So they all play different positions and they all do and look for different things. Look at Miami. Dwayne Wade plays, 2 guard. You got LeBron who can play 3 or 4. Chris Bosh can play 4 or 5. All do different things. Go to Cleveland. You got Kyrie, who's a point guard. LeBron, play the 3 guard. Or play the 3 or the 4 or the point or whatever you want him to do. You got Kevin Love who can play the 4 or the 5. You got all of it, right? Like it's not the same. Like again, you have to have components that fit. It's just like a regular route. Even if you don't have a big three, if you have a guy that just doesn't work, that just doesn't make sense, then it's irrelevant. It doesn't mean anything, right? Like it's never going to work. You need to have guys that work, right? Like one of the big concerns, even like take the Lakers now, right? You have D'Lo and Reeves, who people keep talking about. Like you got to trade one of them. They're the same player. They don't work together. They don't. But no one thinks that they're superstars, that these two guys are stars or anything like that. They're just role guys. They just don't work because they have two similar skill sets, right? So again, if you get the right components and you get the right pieces and you still are able to maintain some level of depth, then I think you're in good shape. Also, look at the teams that are currently in the playoffs. None of them are really that deep. Hey, Boston's like 6 guys deep, if that. I mean, Al Horford, right? So let's call it 6. But like Pritchard and stuff like that, like they're inconsistent and at times just kind of out there getting cardio. Denver has 0 depth, right? Christian Brown has kind of stepped up a little bit more, but for the most part, he's not been that great, right? You look at Minnesota, like they're like 8 guys deep, like in reality, right? And then OKC's running about like 7 guys, 7, 8 guys on any given night. Dallas is running like 7, 8 guys on any night. You just basically need your starting 5 that is really good that you can count on, and then 2 or 3 other guys off the bench that you can rely on. You really only need 7 or 8 guys once you get to the playoffs, right? Especially once you get to the playoffs. And if Donovan Mitchell is available, the Lakers are going to go get Donovan Mitchell because he makes sense for now and for the foreseeable future. And it looks like the Lakers are going to be front of the line in that regard because he wants to play for a big market. Lakers are a big market. He wants to contend for NBA championships. If he goes to the Lakers, he'd be able to contend for NBA championships. LeBron James, Anthony Davis, and Donovan Mitchell be quite the big 3. Obviously, health has to play a role, especially with like LeBron and Anthony Davis. Donovan Mitchell's had his health concerns as well, but if everything works out, probably hoisting a Larry O'Brien trophy. So we'll see. Don't want to get too ahead of ourselves, but just something to keep in mind going forward. That like Donovan Mitchell, these rumors are going to start ramping up, going to start heating up. They're linked to him, and obviously LeBron going to Cleveland, I'm sure helped spark some of those rumors. But anyway. As always, this is a discussion. Pass a question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel? What are your thoughts? Do you agree with my points? Disagree with my points? Are you somewhere in between? How do you feel? Whatever your thoughts are. I'd love to hear it. So let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. So we enjoy these types of videos and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.